now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, live at 6.
Now at 6, an increase in the number of children in Wisconsin killed by gun violence. More than 30 kids were killed in the 2016 alone. That's up from just 20 the year before. The stats show African American kids are the most vulnerable in the state. Pete Zerkafis breaks down the numbers. I'm glad we're doing this twice.
According to the most recent numbers, 11 children were killed with guns in Milwaukee County in 2016. That is the highest total in almost a decade.
It pains me.
Community leaders today reacted to a report from the nonprofit Kids Forward showing 184 children killed with firearms in Milwaukee County between 1999 and 2016. Of those victims, 19 were white, 17 were Hispanic, 6 Asian, and 141 were black.
We're doing a particularly bad job of protecting our black children from gun violence.
At the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee,
We're in 42 neighborhoods.
President and CEO Vincent Lyles says his organization is working hard to maintain safe spaces where kids can hang out.
We're not giving up. We're not looking at these reports and going, oh my God, the sky's falling. We're recognizing that there's work to be done and we're going to do it.
The Kids Forward report also shows child deaths in Wisconsin evenly split between homicides and suicides. But the gun homicides primarily impact African American and Hispanic kids. Alderman Russell Stamper thinks one solution to the problem: more economic opportunities in the inner city.
If you're working, putting money in your pocket, you don't have time for the crime, you don't care about the crime.
Stamper also wants to see the organizations that work with Milwaukee's youth band together and come up with a collective plan to help stop the gun violence. In Milwaukee, Pete Zerkafis, today's TMJ4.
Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett joined community faith leaders and police in an effort to end violence in the city. The annual Ceasefire Sabbath Breakfast brings the groups together to build peaceful neighborhoods. This year's focus was on building trust between the police and the communities they serve.
We want to build more trust between the community and the police department. And I think one of the ways to do that is to have dialogue like we had this morning, talking about some of the challenges we face.
Today's breakfast served as a kickoff to the 14th annual Ceasefire Sabbath, which takes place this Sunday. Storm Team 4 now. Fortunately, only trees seem to be impacted by yesterday's tornado in Hubertus. A trained spotter called it in just before 5 p.m. yesterday. This amazing but ominous video of the funnel was sent to us by Steve Becker. Meteorologist Jesse Ricka here now to explain more about what we see here.
All right, and then you're back at the desk. You'll be sitting on this side, so you remember where the mark is.
The Wolf River in Waupaca County is above flood stage and is expected to have minor flooding through the weekend. In fact, the majority of boat docks in Fremont are submerged underwater. This is making it difficult for fishermen to tie up their boats and to get their boats into the water.
In 31 years, I've only seen it go over the docks 4 or 5 times. But this one seems to be the worst in 31 years. So it's up on the grass now, it's all over the place.
A no-wake zone remains in effect for the time being as water levels stay high. When weather strikes, as long as you feel safe, snap a few photos or a video and send it to us. We might just use it on TV. It's simple. All you have to do is email it to news@tmj4.com or post to our social media pages. A sheriff's deputy smashes a car into a window to save an overdose victim. The deputy was called for a sick driver on Mitchell Boulevard near I-94. The man was blue and unresponsive. Deputies gave the 18-year-old 2 doses of Narcan to revive him.
It was a great effort by Milwaukee County Sheriff, Milwaukee Fire Department, as well as Milwaukee Police, everyone. It was good to see everyone come together and save this young man's life.
Deputies found a bag with a white powdery substance and a pipe in the ashtray of the car. We now have video of a freeway crash that caused light poles to fall across I-43 last week. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says it was all caused by a truck that hit the median, resulting in 6 cars being struck. No one was hurt. 3 people arrested after a car slammed into a gas station at 4th and Center last night. You can see the car had already hit a pole. 2 of those men are now facing drug charges. People only had minor injuries. It's been a week without food for MTEA's substitute teacher president. Alex Brower has pledged not to eat until the school board allocates money for health care benefits for all full-time substitutes. He says the board has left him no choice.
And right now we've got a shortage of substitute teachers, and we can't fill a lot of our assignments or a lot of the vacancies that need to be filled because there's nothing to attract more people to this profession.
In a statement about the budget released 2 weeks ago, the district said, in part, stagnant revenue, rising healthcare costs, and declining enrollment all contributed to a financial shortfall that make this a very difficult budget year. A Foxconn official confirms media reports that a groundbreaking ceremony is set for June 28th. That news comes as company is asking college students to put their thinking caps on and create their vision for a smart city. Foxconn is providing $1 million over the next 3 years to students for their efforts. The purpose is to gather ideas that will help create new systems that will better serve people statewide.
I think if we can actually generate some idea and really ask them to come up with those concepts, we may get a lot of different possibilities there.
Today's announcement was at UW Parkside in Kenosha, but students from all universities are allowed to submit their ideas. A teacher at Waukesha North High School has been named Wisconsin's Teacher of the Year. Sarahi Monterey received $3,000 from the Herb Cole Education Foundation. The best part, the announcement was all a big surprise.
This is truly a dream. I just absolutely love teaching. I feel just blessed that I can do what I'm passionate about.
Monterey plans to use the money for her classroom and upgrades to her home. Bike Nights return to the Harley-Davidson Museum. It's the kickoff to the company's 115th anniversary this year. This is the first of several bike nights throughout the spring and summer. If you want to treat mom to a special day, she gets in free this Sunday. If you can't make it out tonight, there's a bike night every Thursday until September 27th. Up next on Live at 6, a story you'll only see on today's TMJ4. Find out who nominated this police officer and veteran for an honorable award and what he's doing in return. Here's what's on today's TMJ4 tonight. At 6:30, it's The Now. At 7, it's Law & Order SVU. At 8, it's 2 hours of Chicago Fire. Then, more local news on Live at 10.
You're watching today's TMJ4 with Charles Benson, Shannon Sims, Storm Team 4 meteorologist Jesse Ritka, and Lance Allen, Sports.
A Milwaukee police officer and veteran is honored as an American-made hero. The honor won him thousands of dollars. Tonight, he makes a huge donation to one of his favorite charities, helping military families in Wisconsin.
Officer Michael Stenson starts most of his mornings on the dock at McKinley Marina as a member of the Milwaukee Police Harbor Patrol.
Radio's up. Rear's clear.
His service and dedication over the years got his wife Michelle thinking.
Honestly, I was just scrolling through Facebook one day and it popped up and it said, "Do you know a hero? Nominate one." And of course I thought of Mike right away.
Before his nearly 11 years on the force, Officer Stenson served 23 years as a U.S. Navy Trauma Combat Corpsman, a career that deployed him to Iraq twice.
I don't look at myself as a hero.
And while Stenson was flattered by his wife's admiration, her submission to Evan Williams' American-Made Heroes program got the attention of the Kentucky-based Bourbon Company.
It's still kind of surreal.
Not only is Stenson's story of military service and community outreach being highlighted on limited edition bottles, a company representative flew in personally to deliver a huge donation to an organization dear to Stenson's heart.
On behalf of Evan Williams Bourbon, I am honored to award this $10,000 donation to Officer Stenson in USO Wisconsin. We really celebrate the values of our veterans and our military men and women across the country, and we're just honored to be able to give back to them and help them support the community in which they live.
Josh Savo of USO Wisconsin says a donation of this size goes a long way to helping military families in need.
We have a program tomorrow, the baby shower for mothers who are spouses of military or in the military themselves, and it allows us to do programs just like that.
Up next, a Senate candidate taking aim at Tammy Baldwin. PolitiFact Wisconsin puts the claim through the Truthometer. And then, a fresh start for outdoor sports at a local high school. Why this field is getting a facelift. Next. It's not War and Peace, but it is an issue in the U.S. Senate race. Did Democrat Tammy Baldwin really back a Department of Peace? PolitiFact Wisconsin looks at that claim.
Political newcomer Kevin Nicholson is in a primary pitch for the GOP nominee, but he's already battling Senate Democrat Tammy Baldwin with a peace claim.
Nicholson was criticizing Baldwin's record on defense, and he said that she co-sponsored legislation that would have created a federal Department of Peace and Nonviolence.
PolitiFact Wisconsin says Baldwin did co-sponsor the legislation as a member of the House, but it never became law.
That bill would have created a Secretary of Peace. That person would have consulted with the Secretaries of Defense and State on conflict matters, but also had some domestic duties as well.
PolitiFact Wisconsin points out that was not Baldwin's only answer to national security concerns, as Nicholson suggested in his claim. Baldwin has backed other defense spending measures, especially when it comes to helping Wisconsin.
But she has also supported some military spending measures, including purchasing combat ships made in Wisconsin.
PolitiFact rated Nicholson's claim mostly true. After a 2-year hiatus, football, soccer, and track events will be back at Vincent High School. A groundbreaking for a new stadium was held this morning. Games were halted in 2016 due to poor conditions. The new facility will feature an AstroTurf field, bathrooms, concessions, and seating.
I'm kind of stoked because I'm a junior, and then my senior year, I can perform really, really good on this field.
The stadium will be ready for play next spring. Bucky on Parade is already off to a rocky start. One of the statues was found in the water at James Madison Park. 84 other statues were put up across Madison and Dane County. Commissioned artists designed and painted each one by hand. Next in sports, Lance Allen tells us how life on the road could be difficult for the Brewers. After a short homestand, the Brewers are set to begin a 10-game, 11-day road trip. Rockies, Diamondbacks, and Twins, all tough, starting in Colorado tonight.
Yeah, we're playing quality opponents here for a while, so we gotta be ready to go this road trip. We can't let it get out of hand early and kind of spiral out of control. So I don't think it will. So I think we'll be ready to go. We can. We'll have a pretty good kind of standing of where we're going to be after this month. So next 3 weeks are important, and right now we're still in a good spot here in the second week of May. So we'll see what happens the rest of the month.
Tonight at 10:20, we'll take you inside the press box in the world of Tim O'Driscoll. One of the official scorers at Miller Park, he was hired by then PR director Tom Sky Skibosh in 1987.
So he called me one day and he said, "Would you be interested in being a backup scorer?" I said yes. And I'd scored 3 games, I think, and Pancho decided he didn't want to score anymore. So there I was in the middle of the Mulder hitting streak. And he had the 5th longest hitting streak in the history of baseball. So it was really, really big. So I've been scoring, I've scored about 2,300 games.
Nashville is the leading candidate to host the 2019 NFL Draft. But lost in that, Green Bay is not one of the 5 finalists to host the 2019 or 2020 versions of the draft, even though the Packers have tried to lure that to Titletown now for a couple of years. The Bucs' rumored coaching interview wish list is growing thin, but you can apparently take one name off the list. Mavericks head coach Rick Carlisle says he works for Mark Cuban, and the rumors of him having an interest in the Bucs are inaccurate. That's sports. We are back after the break. God. Here's what's coming on next on The Now. The baseball team at a local university giving these college students the chance of a lifetime. The big impact on his life and the lives of his teammates. Well, we're looking forward to a bit of rain on Friday with a high of 46 and a low of 42. It's not too bad. On Saturday, though, we're going up to 49, and I can't even read that. Sunday, have thunderstorms with a high of 58 and a low of 44. Thanks for joining us at 6. The Now is next.